So I got two examples I'm going to share with you. I've written a white paper that all of you are welcome to, and all you have to do to get the white paper from me is take your calling card, put your name on, that's got the name on, turn it over and write the words white paper on it and give it to me before the end of the day today. And I'll see that you get this. I've got the two examples on here. I got more on there. I've fleshed these out more, but it's the beginning of how you can begin to go about doing this. Example number one, prospect. You're sitting down in front of a new customer, someone that you've never worked with before. You want to get their business. So you're having the conversation. As you're having the conversation, it turns out that, you ask who his main roofer is, and he tells you who the roofer is, and you happen to know who the guy is. He's actually a really good competitor of yours. In fact, although you would never say this out loud, he's better than you. How are you going to get the business? What are you going to do? Cut your price? Oh, how original. Okay. So let's try this differently. You sit down, and you're having this conversation, and because you have the data, and by the way, for those of you that have the software, don't ask me about collecting the data. I'll show you that in a minute. Just follow along. So you find out who the roofer is. Oh, he's a fine roofer. What I found is that there's an easy way for us to begin to compare how we can bring you value. What's your recovery rate on invoices? Now, I want to see a show of hands. How many people here know what I'm talking about? I'm seeing hands. Good. If I had a room full of property managers, probably all the hands would go up. For those of you that don't understand, recovery is the portion of your invoice that your customers get to pass along to others to pay. So you go up and do a repair on a shopping center, and you walk up there and you pull the door off the HVAC unit. It's a popsicle inside, and it's dripping down inside. You can't fix that. So you put the door back on. You turn around and send a bill to the property manager for $450, and then he turns around and he sends a little letter to his tenant and says, the HVAC equipment is your responsibility. Here's the $450, and they pay him, and he recovers your invoice. You now become free. So you say to him, when we go up on a roof and do repairs, we categorize the repairs that we make. For instance, if we find the popsicle, we note it as such. If we go up on the roof and find punctures, we indicate that there's punctures. If those punctures are close enough to the HVAC equipment that we know that when the guy pulled the door off and set it down, he punched a hole in the roof, that's a recoverable type of expense for most knowledgeable property managers. We'll note that on the invoice. If it's age-related, we'll do that as well. If it shows lack of maintenance, we note that. We categorize these things, and then we have our computer run off reports for us. And last year, what we figured out was that we invoice people X amount of dollars, and 38% of that was recoverable. I'm just curious, how much did your roofer recover for you? Do you think this might get somebody's attention? I can guarantee you that it's almost impossible that I'm not aware of a single contractor in the country that is actively doing this on behalf. I have an owner that is on track to recover $100,000 this year, because our roofers go out, the ones that my clients use, and they document well. We make sure they do. They indicate these sorts of things to us, or we discern them from them off the invoices. Do you think this might help you get the work? Do you think this might help this conversation about, oh, what's your hourly rate, become less important? When maybe you're going to give them back $38,000 on $100,000 worth of invoices? This is how you leverage data. An existing customer. Okay, let's talk about how to get more work out of them. We have a shopping center in honor of this place. I've called it Wigwam Commons. You call the asset manager on the phone, and by the way, if he's calling you on the phone, you failed, because you've got his data. You should know more about what's going on, because he never gets up on that roof. You guys do. You call him on the phone, I need to talk with you. You go sit down and you say, are you aware that so far this year we spent $12,000 at Wigwam? And maybe he is and maybe he isn't. You go, okay. So then you say, when we go up on a roof, we categorize repairs, and you go through that spiel I just went through. But one of the points you emphasize is, and then when we go up on the roof and we find things that show lack of maintenance, such as pitch pans that need to be filled, storm collars need to be caulked, caulking on termination bars, gutter splices that are leaking, so forth and so on that you send us out there for, we note that on the invoice. And what we have noticed, because we had our computer print this stuff out for us, is that so far this year, $2 of every $3 you've spent on this roof has been for things that could lend themselves to maintenance. Are you aware that earlier this year we gave you a proposal for $3,800 to do all that? Now, and he probably isn't, he probably forgot, but if you had paid that, you would have saved $4,200 so far. Now, the year's not over yet. Do you think this will get their attention? Would you like to see, sir, would you like to see how we can help you with this on other properties? Now, for those of you that don't care much about service, doing repair work is generally speaking more profitable than doing on percentage basis than doing new roofs, but doing preventive maintenance is way more profitable than just fixing leaks. So these are two examples. If you want to have these fleshed out again and have others, I've got others. Just